Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Rachel DeAngelis, and today California Governor Gavin Newsom deployed National Guard troops to help with the response to the wildfires. The largest of the four, the Palisades fire, has already destroyed at least 1,000 buildings and is the most destructive fire in LA County history. The AP says the death toll from the wildfires burning in the LA area has risen to 5. Tens of thousands of residents are under evacuation orders and thousands of others are under evacuation warnings.
We need to have national regulation that requires rapid response to wildfires. So legislation that requires a 30-minute response time to any wildfire in all 50 states. As we saw last year, we had Maui, Hawaii, we've got New Jersey, we've got Texas, we've got California, and all the western states. This is a national issue.
Aerial water drops since last night gave fire crews an edge over a few of the smaller fires, but an uphill battle remains on other fire fronts.
According to the AP, at least 5 people have been killed by the fires in Southern California, and that death toll expected to rise as burned areas are searched.
Just pure devastation. I've never seen anything like this before. This is the second time I've had to evacuate since I moved here 10 years ago, but this just blows everything out of the water.
Well, at least 10 people have died as 4 major wildfires have raged across LA County. As many as 10,000 buildings have been destroyed by the Eaton fire and Palisades fire, which can end up being the costliest fire in U.S. history. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rachel DeAngelis, and more than 150,000 people are under evacuation orders. And since the fires sparked earlier this week, entire neighborhoods and historic landmarks completely destroyed. And crews from across Montana are getting involved in fighting the fires in Southern California. Here you can see firefighters from Whitefish Fire Department on their way to LA. And in Missoula, the aerial firefighting company Neptune Aviation Services is already in California and helping with the fire relief.
The majority of our aircraft are utilizing what's called as a national asset. So they can go anywhere in the country at any time. You know, it's not uncommon for our crews to wake up in Texas and go to sleep in Oregon.
A crew of 4 from the Central Valley Fire District left Belgrade on Saturday morning to make their way down to LA. Fire Chief Jay Whitwer says that they were expected to be down there for 18 days. And we don't know at this point exactly what kind of work they'll be doing, but it could be anything from working to the fire line to protecting structures like homes and businesses.
And so I know our teams are really engaged and grateful for the opportunity to give back and to assist. And California has over 4,700 firefighters on the ground right now, and that number is swelling.
Efforts are continuing right here in Montana to help firefighters and families in the LA area.
Ashlyn Capps, a Belgrade resident and one of her neighbors, collecting food and water donations, trying to send with the Central Valley firefighters who were dispatched to California over the weekend.
I love the community that we live in, and I just want Bozeman to continue that, you know, and especially as we grow, you know, link arms and really help out. So just understanding that, you know, whatever we can do to help that neighbor, you know, is great.
At least 25 people have been killed, and so far more than 12,000 structures have been destroyed. Now in total, the 3 largest fires have burned an area covering roughly 60 square miles. And to put that into perspective, that area burned by the major fires is about 3 times the size of Manhattan.
Today to recognize the first responders of Montana's 2nd Congressional District who are sacrificing time and treasure to combat the ongoing wildfires in Southern California. Firefighters from Columbus and Red Lodge are joining groups like the Billings Flying Service and other crews and individuals from across the state to help those in need.
I know we're focused on the cold temperatures here in Montana. Folks in California still talking about the heat, talking about the fire. Progress being made on the Palisades and Eaton fires. Recovery far from over tonight.
And the LA Times says containment has grown significantly. Now 55% for the Eaton fire and 27% for the Palisades fire. However, more than 150,000 residents are still under evacuation orders, with some areas reopening to residents on a limited basis. These fires have already claimed 27 lives and destroyed over 12,000 structures. And during today's ceremonies, President Trump also said he's planning to visit Southern California on the 21st to see how the federal government can best serve those impacted by the fires.
Tonight, I also want to send our love to everyone affected by the terrible wildfires raging in California. We're praying for you all. We love you all. We're going to be there very soon. I'm going to go out there on Friday to see it and to get it moving back. We're going to get some of the best builders in the world. We'll get it moving back.
Moving on now, talking other weather. Big weather stories across the country, especially in California. Fires blazing through the southern part of the state. Unfortunately, those fires not over yet.
And that's what the director of CAL FIRE says about the wildfire crisis in and around L.A. New fire is burning about a football field size area every 2 to 3 seconds.
And speaking of those L.A. fires, we've got some pretty great news for you this evening.
We've shown you the journey of our Montana firefighters that have been assisting with the efforts in L.A. and now they're finally returning to their home stations right here in Montana.
Today our team spoke with Nick Stinson, a Central Valley engineer and paramedic who just returned from California. He and his crew spent nearly 2 weeks on 24-hour shifts at the Palisades fire, patrolling for hot spots and assisting with calls.
Stinson says the devastation was unbelievable. A big part of their work involved supporting homeowners, helping them search through rubble and looking for missing pets. Since Montana has received help in past fires, he says it felt rewarding to give back.